What up, Royal Mafia? It's Editing Echo over here. I just wanted to come on here and quickly say that this video is heavily inspired by Miss Shan Boodram, one of my favorite sexologists on this platform. I will be linking her video in the description below. I highly suggest you watch that after this video, because after watching her talk to her ex during quarantine, I was just like, I have to do this video. Like, this has to get done. This is Izaac. He is my ex-boyfriend of 2 years. We dated for grade 11 and grade 12, and I asked him if he would want to come on here and talk a little bit about our relationship, and that's exactly what we decided to do. This is not to bash, not to hate, not to shame either him or myself. Just, if anything, it's more of a reflection. I encourage you guys to watch this video and take this into your own hands and figure out the parts of yourself that could still need changing, or the parts of yourself that could want closure. And if you like the Chit for Chat series, definitely be sure to click the subscribe button to become a Royal Mafia member. Join the kingdom, you already know. And I'm gonna go. See y'all later.
I'm bad as Michael Jackson. Hey, it's a holiday.
Okay, how would you describe what we shared in your perspective?
I mean, that's such an open-ended question. I think it was we had a great time. We had like I think we loved each other a lot, which was really special, and you know, it was very transformative in the time that it lasted, and really it meant a lot to me, and I think it meant a lot to you too. So
yeah, I did, for sure. It
was definitely an experience, and definitely a positive one. I wouldn't say anything negative towards the experience. So,
do you remember how we met?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't remember like when we first met, but I do remember like the first week of school in grade 9 when we walked from school to Royal York Station.
Royal York. That was the first time we met. Do you regret the way things turned out between us?
I mean, that's such a loaded question.
We have time.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely regret the end, and I wouldn't want to say I regret, like, I wouldn't say I regret most things, because it was definitely very important to me. So, obviously, if I could go back and change things, I definitely would have. Obviously, I'd be a lot more mature and, you know, just be more considerate in general. But, you know, there's nothing I can do about that now. So, so I wouldn't say I regret anything. So,
No, I hear that. I feel like yeah, like in this lifetime, things play out in very specific like circumstances, just so like you can learn a bit about yourself. And like, speaking about learning, is there anything you feel like I owe you an apology for?
well, I think it was definitely really difficult for me how everything ended, and I know it was difficult for you as well. I think because you had been thinking about it for much longer.
Oh,
than
one
I
second.
had. It was
Our connection is
it was more.
failing. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
I mean, it's hard to say anything specific that I feel like you'd owe me an apology for, because I think for the most part we were pretty good to each other. It's not like you did anything intentionally to hurt me, and I didn't try to do anything like that to you. So I can't think.
Well,
of
it didn't have to be
anything
intentional.
specific. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be intentional. You know what I mean? Like, apologies necessarily can come from the mistakes that we make too. And like, if anything I did hurt you in any kind of way, even if it was something I intentionally thought would be good, it's good to bring up, because like this is all about like healing and processing, right?
Yeah. Definitely the way that things went down when we broke up, I think it was pretty difficult. I struggled a lot with it, mostly in terms of like self blame and stuff like that. And I was upset mostly at myself, rather than any anger or mal feelings towards you. I think as things progressed along and I sort of was able to get out of that heartbreak, it was more. I was able to more see things wholly instead of just from my
Yeah.
point of view. Or
Mm-hmm.
um, so I mean, really, I don't think there's. I think you like it hurt me how quickly you bounced back. But that's not to say you necessarily did. It just seemed like it more from my end. Obviously, the people that we present ourselves to be in public is not necessarily who we are in private. So
Yeah, for sure.
and I'm not very good at distinguishing those two parts. So it's for me it was just like how I was how I was. That's not even grammatically correct, but you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah. I think it was really hard because I mean I was basically unable to give you the kind of love and affection you needed, and you made that clear, and I understood that. It's just I just wasn't able to do that. Like I just was not able to do it, and it wasn't a reflection on how much I cared about you or anything like
yeah.
that. It was just a reflection on how I cared about myself and things that I had going on myself. So it was,
Mm-hmm.
so I'd say I've learned that now. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely at the beginning it was a lot harder. It was a lot
Yeah, a
of
little
self
cloudy.
blame and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, I definitely, well, thank you for your honesty. I do, as much as you say that you like, you don't really have a certain thing to pinpoint, I do want to like just call myself out, because I think the way I handled the breakup was a bit, um, I want to say like, for lack of a better word, like aggressive. And I think like to like explain that a little more, like not on some like, angry black woman, but like I think because I had such a period of time to like think about my decision, I was more upset at the fact that we couldn't work. You know what I mean? And like a big part of myself like blamed myself too. And like I like during like our breakup, I feel like I came to you with a little more hostility, because I felt like you should have been known that I wanted to do this. And then I don't think I gave you enough like air to like handle your emotions in at the time, because I was like, you don't deserve to feel sad, because I've been like, you know what I mean? Like I was very much like not being the most considerate. So like I do want to apologize for like the way I set it up, because I could have been a lot more like, I don't want to say respectful, because I was pretty respectful, I feel like, but like I could have been a lot more like organized and thoughtful with the way I like presented it to you, because like even when you asked me why, like my answers were very like sharp and like hurtful. I feel like, yeah, like I feel like they could have been a lot more like, well, let me explain. Um, but yeah, like I just wanted to explain that to you a little more, because I feel like I came from a place of being so upset for so long, and like already telling you that like I didn't feel like you deserved like a really calm answer, but I feel like that would have helped within the healing process for me and you. So I am sorry for that. I'm a lot better now. I'm not as aggressive, I swear. Okay, that brings me to a little more like lighthearted question. What do you feel like is our fondest memory in your opinion?
That oh man. I mean we had such a great run, I swear. I mean, it was
You
I mean,
did.
it was great. It was the most that you'd ever want out of like a high school relationship. It was great. Um,
Very true. I agree.
I think, I mean, just of course there were so many moments that were great. I just I just think back to prom and prom night. I think that was really fun. Great. The morning after prom was fun too. Um,
Yeah, that was a good time. It's because I remember what
um,
happened. I'm gonna insert a picture of me and Izzy's prom look. We spent like 4 days matching his tie to my dress. So just if y'all prom wasn't like
yeah.
that, you didn't have prom. You didn't have prom. On the contrary, like, what do you think our worst fight was? Like, period. And like the breakup doesn't count because it was a breakup. But like, what do you think was our worst fight?
It's really hard to say. Um, I mean, I don't think we had like a lot of typical sort of fights. I think we
Yeah.
had a lot of fights about like just the way we were treating each other and more so conversations than anything.
Mm.
And some of the conversations were a bit hostile, which is, is part of all the emotions that everything brought up. But um, I mean, it's very much connected to the breakup, but like definitely in the summer when we took a break. Um, that was really difficult.
Mm. How did you feel about that break?
I mean, I mean,
Do you feel
you
like it was
mostly know how I felt
helpful?
about it. I think it was. I think I didn't use it or see it as helpful as I could have. Um, I don't think I really. I tried to acknowledge what you were saying and the reason why we had the break. I couldn't get a grasp around it. Um, I couldn't internalize it. I couldn't really understand it to the extent that I needed to for it to work
Mm.
out after the break. So, which is why we inevitably broke up. So, you know, um, but I'd say from what I remember, that's probably our worst fight. Maybe closer to the beginning when there was um, a bit of just with like other people in our lives, um, sort of uh, you being a little. Um, you really wanted to start the relationship, and I was not super ready for it.
Wait,
At
what
the
do you
very
mean? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, do explain.
like
Do
when
explain.
we first started. When we first started, we started casual, or that was my intent. Um, I was not looking for a relationship at that point, and
But neither was I.
we were, yeah. I think as the months went on, it was a lot more like you encouraging me to actually look at my emotions and be like, this is more than just us being flirty and dumb shit, but it was actually real feelings. So I think there's also a bit of a fear at the beginning of
Hmm.
my relationship with uh, other people at school, other friends we had. So yeah, there was a bit of miscommunication at the beginning, but I I mean it is what it is.
Yeah. No, I respect your viewpoint because like it's always going to look a certain way from your perspective and my own perspective. Like, let me break it down how it happened in my eyes. Like, we both broke up with our prior relationships in grade 10, and then in the summer going into grade 11, we're like, as best friends, let's stay single and help each other stay single. Like, well, we're gonna do that. And then around like September, November, we kept like, kikiing in the hallways a little too often. And I was like, Izzy, I don't know, this is all just kiki and kai kai, you know what I mean? Like, we're not just kikiing anymore. Because it got to the point, I know for me, and like friends around me would like stop me in the hallways and be like, why do you and Izzy keep kissing? What are you talking about? That never happened. Like trying to like ignore them. And then
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't know, I was surprised by you saying that like you thought like I was the one like who like enforced it, because in my opinion, like we had that one class in October, like after math class, and you were
Mhm.
like, I think I love you. And I was like, me? Wait. And then like we talked about it a little bit more. And then you asked me out. Like I never really like, you know what I mean? I was like, you figure out your stuff and then let me know how you're feeling. So like
Yeah,
that's what
I
happened in
mean,
my perspective.
I think it was. I mean, from what I saw, it was more like um, you were you were sort of encouraging a relationship, um, but you definitely like tried to give me space to like think about it, which is where your point of view probably comes in, where I was the one who asked, and I was eventually once we got to that point, um, it was clear to both of us that we wanted to be in a relationship with each other. But
Yeah.
before that, it was I don't know. I was just like it was more like me lying to myself than anything. Just being like, no, feeling is fake.
Yeah, I was
Um,
hurt before. Fuck that. Like,
yeah.
yeah, definitely. No,
hmm
I can definitely see what you're
and
saying.
you were more open. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
seemed more open to it.
Definitely, definitely. Because like I know for in my perspective, it was like we kept doing that thing where we just like everyone else thought that we were together and we weren't official, like at all. And I was okay with that for like a period of time. But then after like I think like a 3 week period, I was like, why does everyone keep telling me that I'm in a relationship and I'm not? Like I'm confused. And so I feel like I don't know, like I respect that because I feel like me bringing it up was definitely me being like, yeah, I'm open to this, but like if you're not, I kind of want us to like, be strict in what we're calling this, and like it's either we're just talking, like we're just um knocking boots, or we're like gonna make this official. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, we gotta pick one. Um, but no, that's interesting. I think that's very interesting, like take on like a relationship because like I would never thought that I was the one that was like, you better love me or I'm gonna fight you. um, do you consider our breakup ugly?
No, I mean, just the fact that we're able to do this now, I don't think it was that ugly. I think there's been
True.
a lot uglier.
Trust me.
I mean, there's been a lot more like fighting and like bad shit in other people. So for me, it wasn't ugly. It wasn't a big dramatic thing.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, we're both kind of dramatic people. I mean, I'd say you're a bit more dramatic than I
I
am.
hey,
Just
I
a
went
bit.
I went to school for drama. Okay, all you did was blow air into a machine. Of course, I'm the dramatic one.
So, well, I mean, I don't think it was like so crazy. It wasn't like a big fight. It wasn't like the drama of the town. Um, it was,
True.
it was, it was more relaxed than that, but also it was just because we both had two different perspectives at the end. I think.
hmm What do you feel like the
Like I,
perspectives were?
oh well, I mean, even still, I'm not. Uh, I'm not like I'm not looking to date really. Not really. Not, I'm not looking to get attached to someone really. Um, and you came out of it a different perspective. So I mean, I'd say it was like it had different effects on us. but
Yeah,
that's
for
just
sure.
like a reflection on what we needed to do personally, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was what was healthiest, I'd say. But
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree. I know like my perspective after we ended was like um to just like spread my social wings a little more. Because I feel like closer to the last bit of our relationship, like I just focused on us because I knew that we were like crumbling. And so a part of me felt like I had to devote like all my attention like 24/7 to like fixing it. And like once I realized I couldn't fix it anymore, like it took me a long time to like come to terms with that. Especially after like your operation in July. So like that like I knew I had to not only like take care of you like girlfriend and boyfriend, but also like set aside those like really like ugly feelings because I just wanted us to work so bad. And so like after that we were done, like I realized I focused so much on like our relationship that I wasn't really taking care of myself or like my health or like my energies like and so a lot of that was like um making new friends and like gaining perspectives of the world and like making more time for the friends that I already had that I wasn't making so much time for. So like um I could definitely see why like the perspectives looked like I was just like like minding my business and like acting like I didn't just spend like the best 2 years of my life with like one of my like bestest friends, you know. But that's interesting. That's interesting. What is one question that you want me to answer honestly? You know, like now that we're done, now that you can ask anything, like give me one question, I'll answer it completely honestly. Uh. I know y'all hate when I do this. It is Editing Echo here to tell you that part 1 is officially over for now. Okay, part 2 is coming very, very soon to the channel, so to stay tuned for that, be sure to click that subscribe button to become a Royal Mafia member today. It's free 99 and I highly recommend it if you want to stay up to date with the kingdom and your fellow queen, okay? And my final message for today is to be sure to let love live within yourself and in others because baby, that's all we got. Cause that's on what? That's on Echo Effect, period.
Hoes on hoes and it out of control, yeah. Hey, this another way. All my niggas.